Well, I guess my role here is to give the community perspective in regards to the restorative justice issues in the community level. I'll just give just a brief introduction of myself. Again, like was mentioned, I work for the Prince Albert Grand Council, where our main objective is we're committed to develop and deliver justice programs at the community level. And our vision to restore justice to the community. I've always had a kind of a problem with the restorative justice issue. I think in order to restore justice, we should have had justice in the first place. I don't think we've ever really had the opportunity to experience justice itself. But I think the alternative measures process that our program follows right now is a good stepping stone. Just recently, in the past couple of years, I've had great experience of working with the Creek Court. The Creek Court itself tries to involves Aboriginal people in terms of sentencing. As I work with the Prince Albert Grand Council, our objective is to provide Aboriginal people and non-Aboriginal people an avenue other than the court system. A lot of people have said, how come you're not specifically just working for Aboriginal people? That's not our program. We help non-Aboriginal people, white people, if you want to put it straightforward. We see a lot of offences in one of our court points where it's an offence between an Aboriginal person and a non-Aboriginal person. So we try and focus on helping the community itself, and the community is not just the reservists we work on. We work with the surrounding areas as well. And that's the focus I take. I've written something here, it's a little more formal, maybe explains a little bit more. I feel overwhelmed to be here. I've worked with so many people in the alternative measures program. I think could probably do more justice to this justice issue than I would. But I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Paul, for inviting me. And I'll just quickly begin here. I may have some other issues to discuss afterwards there. The alternative measures process is not just a means of avoiding a criminal prosecution. It's much more than that. There's one key aspect to the alternative measures process that we live by, that we follow. In order to achieve healing, you must first accept responsibility for what you've done. This is the responsibility provided by the offender. You cannot start a healing process unless the offender says, I did it, I'm sorry. What can we do to help begin the healing? What can we do to go back on that right path? This is our important goal. Me and my coworker, Chris Marasti, who's in here today, he's doing the alternative measures right now. We tell each other every day when we go to work, make sure they assume responsibility. Otherwise, you'd have people jumping into the program, I want to do it, thinking this is a get out of jail free card, get it over with. I won't have a criminal record. It's not true. Before anything is started, the offender must accept responsibility for his or her actions. Without the acceptance of responsibility, we cannot begin the process of healing. I use the term healing because we are on a journey of sort in restoring peace between the victim, the offender, and within the community as well. It's not the easiest thing for someone to say, I did it. We've spoken so much about the the Saskatoon Police Services here. And it shows it's the hardest thing to accept responsibility for what you've done. Offenders within our program accept responsibility. That's the biggest and most toughest step anybody can make. I don't know how to explain this eloquently. When you say I did it, it may sound just like three little words, but that's the thing that begins that process. That's the first stone in a creek. That's the first ripple. And we like to see that will expand into more healing, not just between the victim and offender, but the community as well. First Nations believes the family is the key structure within a community. The community is a family. If that's our problem today, we're not a family. It's not only white on Indian violence or Indian on white violence, it's Indian on Indian as well. There was a person last night who spoke about social issues within the community last night after the showing of that documentary. For me, I think he hit the issue right on the head there. It's social issues we have at home. And that stems, I can go on and on about history, fur trade, missionaries. Alcoholism stems through the fur trade, but that alcoholism continues into the residential school era. Removed to the residential school era, you have continual alcoholism. You have that cycle continuing over and over again. This is what we're up against. We run into some people in the legal profession who want things done just like that. Give them some community service, get it over with. Bring it back to court. Our answer, not possible. We have to sit down, victim and the offender, discuss what happened, invite family members or community members into a circle. And then that's my position within that process is someone who observes. They take over that circle. They discuss what needs to be done. They continue. They move forward. And if a resolution comes out of it, a resolution comes out of it. If nothing comes out of it that day, we adjourn. We come back another day. This isn't something that's a quick fix. Benefits to alternative measures. There's a preconceived notion that the only benefit to alternative measures is that the offender avoids a criminal record. A get out of free card, if you will. Get out of free jail. Yes, offenders are not prosecuted criminally if they are successful with the alternative measures program. There are, however, many other benefits other than non-prosecutorial outcome. The alternative measures program for the offender and for the victim, and especially for the community, has that beginning process of healing.